Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Eureka Springs CAPC meeting for February 22nd, 2024, 6 p.m. regular meeting. Let's do roll call.
David Avanzino.
Present.
Colin Polk.
Here.
Chris Clifton.
Here.
Steve Holyfield.
Here.
And Bradley Tate Green.
Here.
And Chris Jones. Here.
Okay.
And Brian is absent with notice, right? Yeah.
Brian Weinerman is absent on vacation. Thank you, David. I just want to say a big thank you to staff for getting everything lined out for Governor's Conference coming up. Appreciate it. Shirts look nice. Look like a cohesive group when we're there, so that'll be nice. And going to represent Eureka. All right, approval of minutes on your iPad.
I move we approve the regular meeting minutes from January 24th, 2024, as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Steve Holyfield to approve the minutes from January 2024, seconded by David Avanzino. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, approval of financials. We don't have Scott. He's had a medical situation, so we'll leave it at that.
I'd be happy to go over them
Okay.
just quickly and briefly.
Thank you.
This evening, give us a little bit of an idea where we're at. First of all, cash bank balance as of the end of December, $2,016,996.40 is in the bank. Our income at the end of December 2023, actual versus our budget, food and beverage was actual $67,885. We budgeted $1,000, and that was the 32% difference. Lodging $52,223. We budgeted $115,000. That's a pretty big deficit. And our total collections for that month were $120,108. We had budgeted $215,000, which is a significant difference. Year to date, we budgeted $2,106,000. We collected $2,053,575. We actually scored 2% on the year. Not a significant year at all. However, when we take a look at the actual comparisons in Section B, our income, food and beverage, in December, $67,885. Our lodging, $52,223 again, with our total collections at $120,108. When you take a look at the numbers, actually, we were only 1% up on 2023. So it was not a significant year. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, basically flat. We missed by 2% on the budget. That is, you could say that's good because COVID was a completely different animal, a lot more business than typical. And then actual, we're only 1%. We're flat, and I think some people actually thought we opined that we thought we would be flat for the year. So just.
The other components of the budget so far, which I think you have in your packet so far, January 2027, $27,563.70 in our collections. Lodging collection, $23,781. That's as of February 21.
Mike, what exhibit are you on?
I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, where are you?
Okay, this is in, pull this out. This is in the short form. You should have toward the back, I believe.
Does it have like A5 or B1 or whatever?
Yeah, this is
The profit and loss.
This is profit and loss. It's a P&L
Gotcha.
for
Okay.
January 2024.
Okay.
So,
For 2024?
yes, sir.
2023.
I see 2023.
Yeah.
Top.
I'm looking at Scott's sheet, actually trying to decipher some of his lyrics here. and this is my first glance at this today because I just got it this morning. We are well, we'll go down to total income for the month of January thus far, 59,777, which we had budgeted 199,875. So we are considerably off the mark. However, as we know, when we go into the first quarter of the year, every year in A&P collections, we are not going to be way up there. We'll catch up on those numbers. Obviously, January, always iffy. We don't know what's going to happen with lodging or beverage.
So you're reading what's come in so far on January?
Thus far, we have earned $59,777.
59?
59,777.
And that's for lodging and restaurant?
Yes, sir, combined.
Wow.
And that
Yeah.
includes everything.
But yeah, he hasn't closed it yet, though,
No.
because you still have some checks to come in. Did he give you an idea of how many? I know you're maybe not able to talk much.
Don't know yet.
Okay.
This was as of the 21st. So, we've still got a few days left and collections still come in. It just depends
Well,
on,
he can usually see, like, if some big ones haven't paid yet, that kind of deal, but,
He didn't, he. was
right,
dealing
I
with
get it. You're sick.
he, don't want to get into his hit, but he took some bad meds.
Yeah.
And it really hit him pretty hard, and we sent him home. So, but where we stand with the end of the year, we were flat, 1%, basically is the number that we're looking at.
I move to make a motion to accept the financial report as is.
Second.
I have a motion by Bradley Tate Green to accept, this is December financials as is, seconded by Steve Holyfield. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Just a quick question, Mike. Is there a delinquency report?
I do not have
Zero?
one, David. We
Okay.
I don't think so.
will have one, obviously, because we know that we have some delinquents out there.
Okay.
Just don't know what they are right now.
He did tell me that if y'all asked, that letters did go out and there has been favorable response.
Okay, good.
I think even last time, there were some that had fallen off. So, okay, good. Director report, Mike Maloney.
Ron, if you bring up that first slide, please, sir. Kind of a brief overview of our work thus far with Mad Media. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about where we are with some of our web right now, because it has been of interest to see how that has grown. And if you go ahead and jump to the next slide, please. Top pages that have been hit thus far in the month of January. Things to Do has scored pretty well. We are seeing people looking for opportunities within Eureka Springs. Again, Things to Do and attractions have fared fairly well. Events have scored, I think, remarkably well in a lot of respects. Our food and drink category is right in there. Category of Things to Do, outdoor activities has done well. The Odd has popped in there, and we're kind of happy about that. And I will make a quick comment here. If you'll take a look at the odd.com website, we've had an opportunity to go ahead and clean that up. So when you go to the odd.com, you'll see basically a continual calendar of events that we were really losing somewhere in the meld earlier with the website. But this is really good. It's a great improvement. And that went live yesterday. Where to Stay, Cabins and Cottages, doing well. And Things to Do, again, Shops and Galleries, and coming into number 10, Where to Stay, Hotels and Motels. So those are the top pages that we've seen thus far in the month of January. If we'll go to the next one, please. Our organic searches, where people are just looking, pretty much the same thing. Things to Do, attractions, events, the top 10 things or top 9 things that people want to see in Eureka Springs. Events at the Odd, our outdoor activities, our food and drink at number 8, things to do in our shops and galleries, and then where to stay, cabins and cottages. So 33,000 views in our organic searches, about 9,245 visitors have gone into it and taken some time to take a look at what we have. Our homepage traffic increased about 9% month over month, and our things to do went up 25%. Our events went down just a little bit, but our top 9 things went up a remarkable 109% month over month. And the odd and outdoor activities, those saw about a 35% increase month over month. So that's really good news.
So Mike, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Looking at the rankings of 1 to 10, is this indicative that people are just looking for day trips instead of overnights? Is that the way you see this?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I think it's probably a combination of both. As you plan a trip organically, you are probably looking more specifically at what you want to do when you get there. So it may well be that what we're seeing is a combination of both. But when we take a look at things to do, I think what we're really trying to see here in the first category is that people are digging down into lodging as well.
Okay.
So, we're looking for a broad brush experience here.
I think what would be helpful is to compare year over year versus month over month. So and especially David's point, like in the lodging, then you can see what people are really doing last year, same month.
As we we work with Madden on pulling the Google stats out of this thing, we'll be able to go ahead and do exactly that. The next slide, please, tells us where people are looking from. Dallas is number 1. Not sure what not set means. It could be locally, I don't know. Chicago, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, St. Louis, Springfield, Fayetteville, Little Rock, and Denver. That's the paid traffic that has gone to our pages. If we look at the organic traffic, interesting. Dallas, Chicago, Kansas City, OKC, Little Rock, St. Louis, Eureka Springs, Fayetteville, and New York. It's always good to see New York in there. The interesting thing about this, and I asked Madden to take a look at this, I did not see Tulsa, which was a little surprising. And I'm wondering if number 2, not set, might have been indicative of Tulsa. I didn't see the geo map, which normally we can take a look at in the Google look and take a look at that. But it tells us kind of what we know. We know that we are a 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive in some cases. But when we take a look at the organic traffic, we got people curious perhaps all over the United States, and that's kind of a cool thing. So when we see something like New York pop up, which is not necessarily an anomaly, we may see something similar from Miami or even Los Angeles periodically pop up in these organic searches. Little Rock is never to be underestimated in terms of one of the destinations that we market to. Central Arkansas is a vibrant market for us, and particularly as we move forward with concerts and other events coming into the spring and certainly over the summer months, we'll see that Little Rock traffic, I think, markedly jump up. Some other things that are happening, I think, that will influence Little Rock a little bit is some of the major some of the publications such as Arkansas Times are honing in on Eureka Springs a little more specifically because of some of the features that Eureka Springs provides. And that would be in the area of concerts, outdoor activities, and so forth. It's an easy drive, and we know that Little Rock does generate a significant amount of traffic for us. Any questions about where people are coming from? It's always fascinating to see these things.
It's interesting to see Chicago because I have 7 guests at the hotel right now from Chicago. And on my drive in, I saw all 7 of them downtown shopping. So that was a good sign.
Go Cubs. So,
Whatever.
yeah, I always find it fascinating that we really branch out a lot further than sometimes people are aware of.
Yeah.
And this time of the year, I think it's always curious to see what people are looking for in some of those searches. And I think in some instances, we're looking for people planning in advance. One of the things we do know is that spring break next month is going to generate a lot of traffic over that 3 or 4 week period of time. And I would suspect that we'll see some spring break traffic coming from really some distant areas that we might not normally ever see. So this is good news. I want to go ahead and transition to one of the factors that Madden has pointed out within our searches online and something that has been missing. We have banner ads and we have artwork and so forth, but the one thing we do not have is video. And in talking with Madden, I talked with them specifically about some of the work that has been produced in the past by Edward Robson, who's here this evening with Jeremy Mason McGraw. And I shared with them some of their content, and they were frankly blown away. That's the best way to put it. So we have been working with Edward, and I'm going to bring Edward and Jeremy up here in just a moment. We are retooling 2 of the commercials that Edward had shot back in 2018, and I thought we'd go ahead and show you those 2 that we're working with right now to go ahead and bring up a new logo and also a new URL. This one is called, I don't know what this one is called. Lodging, okay, very good. All right, let's go ahead and play this one, please.
Very cool.
Isn't it?
Play it again, Sam.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please play that again. It's worth another look. I think when we produced that, Edward, you and I had a discussion about the audio, and that's the one you tweaked, and I'm sorry, that's not the one I pulled off of the reel here, so there's a little difference. If you go ahead and play number 2.
Oh, I love this one.
Yep.
I saw this, Sam.
We need to get those stickers made.
Yes.
We need to get those stickers made.
Yes,
Yeah.
on it.
Well, we brought Edward in last week or earlier and sat down with him, and we talked about producing a new spot for food. And y'all want to come up here, meet Edward Robson III and
Please.
Jeremy Mason McGraw. If you don't know these gentlemen, they're both guys from Eureka Springs that creatively, I look at these guys like, okay, here's Ronnie Howard, and here is George Lucas.
I'd like to thank the Academy for making this possible, the esteemed panel.
Yes, that's awesome.
We talked to them about coming up with a concept for almost a 2-minute long commercial, or actually a video. I really hate to even call it a commercial. I think it's more of an image that speaks to the significance of fine dining, restaurant experience in Eureka Springs. And when we got the script yesterday, Danielle read the script, and I want her to read it for you, and then let her emphasize what's going on with this, and then we're going to have Edward and Jeremy talk about it.
So the video would begin with an establishing beauty shot of Eureka Springs, and then using a variety of techniques, including first-person view drones. The camera would fly into one of the food destination locations. While the camera is approaching its food destination, we would try to capture a sense of hospitality. An example of this might be a restaurant owner greeting or hugging a group of people as they come into a restaurant. Once a wider shot showing the uniqueness of the location is established, the camera would fly in and up close and explore intimate details of food preparation and/or food presentation. Camera movement and slow motion video would be used to capture many of these, giving the viewer the same sense of movement as the establishing drone shots. Some possible food details, examples include close-up detail of a pizza cutter rolling across a pizza, wine pouring, pan searing with fire, chef drizzling sauce, egg cracking, slicing vegetables, tossing food in pan, squeezing lemon or lime, pouring pasta onto the plate, coffee beans bouncing on a table, a latte being made, draft beer being poured. The video would come to a close with a cameo of a regional with a larger following food influencer posting a review of one of the culinary experiences in Eureka Springs. The camera would move in close on their phone and then rocket away, revealing another view of the town with a voiceover saying something like, "Eureka Springs, a culinary landscape."
I love that idea.
Sounds good.
Well, okay, guys, tell us all about it. And the reason, the thing that's interesting is that Edward didn't tell me earlier that Jeremy Mason McGraw was still in town. When he told me, I went, wow. All right, go for it.
So, I just wanted to, I guess, a little bit of an introduction. I used to live here, and we did some stuff while we were in the area, and then that's where Edward and I met. He's a lot more humble than I am, but you're really lucky to have him in the area in terms of his technicality and his capabilities. He works all over the world, so do I. We've actually worked together in Europe a bit. But my background is in destinations and luxury hotels. Edward works for sort of a similar, could say there's some overlap there, but.
A lot of Bass Pro Shop stuff, so a little different, more rustic feel. His is more upscale, fine.
He's a lot more technically skilled than I am. I hire him to do stuff that I can't do. So, but what we wanted to do with this video when we were talking about it is we want to, sort of show those signature characteristics of a culinary environment, like all of the things that you sort of want to taste and try while you're in a place. But the way that we had envisioned it is that we would sort of have this gliding kind of tour with this energetic little vignettes through the town. And as Edward described it when we were talking about it, it's more of a tour of Eureka with a culinary theme. It's not a food video, and it's not specific to a specific restaurant or whatever like that. We just want to show that there's a variety of options, everything from food trucks to quick serve stuff to fine dining, and that there's a culture here of that with this beautiful tapestry of Eureka Springs in the background in that landscape. So that's kind of where the idea was coming from. And then because we live in the time that we live in, food influencers are like the big thing right now. Like it's a growing industry, and a lot of people are taking their cues on where to eat, not from like searching on a website, but actually just like they're seeing it on TikTok, Instagram Reels. They'll see a video. There'll be somebody regionally talking about like, oh my gosh, I went here. You got to try this, and. So we wanted to kind of give a nod to that, so there'll be sort of a thread that's thematic throughout this video that kind of I guess says that points that out and kind of makes a note of that in the video, and then we would end on them basically like they're literally making a video. So they're again not talking about a specific restaurant, but they're just like they're on their phone and they're like, hey, we saw them in a couple of other clips where they were, looking at different experiences in Eureka Springs. And then at the end of that experience, we're seeing them actually make a video and start, creating media about their experience. So it's almost like the previous part of the video was their journey through Eureka Springs, and then the end of it is you guys have got to check this out. So none of it's specific to a location or a specific type of food. It's just the general experience and the culture of Eureka, which the one thing that we called out, like having, a restaurant owner hugging somebody and stuff. We were talking about, like, a lot of Eureka is that welcoming feeling, right? So you see a lot of sort of cliche images in videos where it's like the toasting and, the Valentine's, whatever like that. And that doesn't really say anything unique, but something that's really unique about Eureka is that you can actually make these, relationships with people while you're here. And there are people that come here seasonally and they know the owner of Vermilio's, or whatever like that. And, there's that. So we want to sort of figure out those moments that we can put in this as well, where we can bring that local culture into it and make it seem like a really welcoming, it's a beautiful, welcoming place with a lot of different culinary experiences. So that's our vision for it, I guess. But
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I think one of the things that probably didn't come across in what you read was, that we wanted to tie this influencer into the whole video, but we, we're just making a pitch. We didn't have somebody picked out completely yet and didn't know what kind of availability we'd have with somebody, but we'd like to do that is have them be kind of in this thread through the whole thing, kind of having these experiences.
So you said, I'm sorry, I forgot your name already.
Jeremy.
Your experiences in fine dining?
Yeah, so I've worked with a lot of luxury hotels, primarily in Europe, but also in Hawaii and all over the world. But also travel destinations, so it's kind of a mixture.
And the only reason I ask that is that we do have some amazing fine dining restaurants, but we also have the majority of those restaurants aren't fine dining.
For sure.
That need to be included. So just a heads up.
Absolutely, and that's what we really were looking at it like. We're thinking about the video like there will be, like 5 or 6 segments, and then each of those segments will focus on a different type of experience. Mm-hmm. So we're not just like, here's all these beautiful fine dining dishes, and that really leaves out a vast majority. So we want to show, food trucks. We want to show something like the even like getting a charcuterie board and going to a pretty place, so it's not even an in-restaurant experience. Because again, it's about the culture of Eureka through the lens of food. It's not about food, if that.
Okay, and also on top of that, any ideas or thoughts on those venues that have live music that people come to listen to all the time? Because I think probably almost every bar here in town offers live music, which we're known for the music. So
Yeah, that's an excellent point. We'll definitely, if we end up doing this project, figuring out the best way to showcase like every kind of thing we can.
Okay.
We want to include all that stuff without making it look too cluttered. But that's definitely like you're right on in terms of music is always going to be. It's definitely connected to a food experience.
Yeah.
So.
David, I might pass on one of the several spots that we do have available to us for rebranding. Does feature live music. I didn't put it on this particular reel because these are the two that we've asked Edward to go ahead and re-logo. But we've got some really brilliant live music type performance things that they've done in the past for us. We actually have an inventory of probably, 8 or 9 that we've shot in the past. And unfortunately, they just haven't been seen. So White Phoenix Films is Edward's website, which really does have all those on there. And I'll be happy to share the Dropbox link for you all to go back and take a look at some of those other spots that he's produced in the past for us. The price structure on this roughly is about $14,000. So that's why I wanted to bring this to the commission this evening. I think it's a fantastic investment in something, and it's something that we'll be able to utilize licensing for the next 4 years.
I wanted to say as well, the way that we're structuring it as well, like I said, there will be segments. We want to construct it in a way that you can break those segments apart and use those in short-form video that would go on social as well. So
Yep.
it might be a 2-minute piece in its final form, but it can be split into segments and put out in a format that's more native to like social platforms.
Perfect.
Does that 14,000, we would own the rights to those videos?
For 4 years.
For 4 years?
And
That's industry standard, right?
That's a pretty long time, actually.
So above industry standard.
It's a very long time.
and we already have this budgeted, correct?
Yes, we do. We're going to pull it out of some funds that we have in our aud and also in our video budget. So, yes.
So is this something that comes out of Madden's money? What would you say? Okay. So
No.
we just need, you're looking for an approval from us to spend that. Okay.
Motion to approve?
Well, let's add it to the agenda when we get to that
Oh.
piece. We'll just do that.
My bad.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Public comments. We've got 3 minutes if you would like to step on up and
We have Jim Nelson here this evening with us. So,
Hi. I'm here on behalf of the Eureka Springs Art Museum that you may or may, some of you may not even know about. There's a group of us, there's 6 people on our board. We've been working towards this for about 2 years now. We're located up at the community center at one end, and we opened in November, just on Saturdays. For now, we're training docents. We're in that process right now, and as time goes by, we'll be adding hours, and more days of the week. We're a nonprofit. This has been talked about for years and years in this town as something that was needed because of all the artwork and all the wonderful artists that have lived here. And we got it. So we need help with promotion. That's why I'm here. What I'm asking for tonight is your help paying for advertising in the fun guide specifically. Like a half a page ad. The fun guide comes out, I think there's 10 issues in a year, and it amounts to about a half a page ad would be about $4,500. We just, that's why I'm here. You can pay for it, or you can pay us and we'll pay for it, but that's where the money would be, that's the only place it'll be spent. And as you all know where the fun guide goes, it goes out to the tourist information centers around. We're an attraction. We're not an event. We're like an ongoing event that's going to get better and better and better as time goes by. So our collection's going to be growing. There's some incredible artwork. It's all donated. We're not buying anything. We don't have any. We don't have the money to do that. So that's my pitch. Do you have questions?
Yeah,
Ask me
I'm
questions.
confused. This is public comments. Is this a funding request?
no.
Okay.
This really, and I've talked to Jim about this. This really doesn't fall in the area of market support funds. And that's the issue that we really have with this. It's such a unique situation that it's not an event. It doesn't, categorize heads and beds or, so forth. It's a very difficult one to wrap your arms around in a way, but yet it's a unique feature that, basically is part of the essence of Eureka Springs as an art community.
When we tried to fill out the form, it was square peg,
Okay.
round hole, and it just didn't quite fit. So that's why I'm here to explain it in more detail.
I'm just curious, this doesn't fall in that compartment of where we already give money for the arts?
That's a question I don't know if I can answer.
Okay.
And perhaps it does.
I don't know.
That's a commission, really, that's a commission discussion and a discussion, I think, more than anything else. So, Jim and I talked about this, and I said, I just don't know where you fit. So that's why he didn't end up as a market support fund requester. It was really more along the lines of, let's make the public aware of it and how it could be facilitated at some point. And that's really a good question. So I leave it kind of to your work now. Jim and I could further discuss this and perhaps come up with a better plan, hopefully. But if you've not been to the museum, you should go. It's incredibly, it's a phenomenal accomplishment of what's happened, basically with art that goes back to the 1800s.
That's right.
That was found. So we're not talking about just contemporary art, but some work that came out of
Right. It's
Beavertown that was found. and
Art
it's
from
just amazing.
artists that have lived in Eureka Springs from the get-go, long gone, to current artists. And that's who we're...
Are you the group that's building a facility? That's raising money?
The build-out inside it's done.
Okay.
So it's in an
That's a
existing,
different thing.
They're leasing.
Where is this?
at the community center.
On the very end.
It's the building, we're right next to the Chamber of Commerce.
right.
I mean, right, directly next door. So,
So you had made the comment that the fun guide half-page ad, I think you said 3,500?
it'd be about around $4,500
Is that-
for a half a page ad for 10,
So that includes all 10 issues, not
That'd be
just
10 issues.
per issue? Okay.
right. Any other questions about the museum itself that you guys don't?
No.
Okay.
Jim, your hours right now, I know you're trying to go ahead and get it open with your docents and so forth.
Right now, it's Saturdays from 1 to 5. We're going to add Thursdays because of the farmer's market at some point, and Sundays. And then it'll just keep going. We're a baby. I mean, we're just starting, and this is really, it's going to be something. But you got to start somewhere, just like the opera and ESSA, and we aspire to that kind of success over time.
Cool. Did you say you're a nonprofit or not?
We are a
You are
nonprofit, absolutely. I'll tell you who our board members are: Jim McGee from McGee Jewelry, Doug Stowe, the woodworker, Steve Beecham, Lucilla Garrett, Elise Rennick, me, and Glenn Crenshaw is sort of the liaison with the community center board. So that's who's on the board. Oh, no, Steve, there's one newer board member. I can't remember his last name, unfortunately. Anyway, there's an additional one, too.
Awesome. Thanks for that.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
So I think looking into the budget on the arts support and see what we can figure a place to fit that in and come back with us with that, I think.
Sure. This is one of those situations where it's unique unto itself.
Right.
But again, I go back to the comment I made. This is the cultural essence of Eureka Springs is arts. And really, you do need to go. Seriously. I was just completely, I wasn't taken by surprise, but I was so pleasantly surprised at the quality and really the magnitude of the amount of art that's been produced well over 100 years out of Eureka Springs artists. Phenomenal.
All right. Any other public comments? If we're going to add, what was it we were going to add?
Video.
Yeah, the commercial.
Yeah.
I need a motion if we're going to do that.
I move that we add White Phoenix Films discussion to the agenda.
Second.
And a motion by Colin Polk. Polk? Gosh, did it wrong again. And a motion by Colin Polk to add White Phoenix Films commercial discussion to the agenda. Seconded by David Avanzino. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, we're going to move that to the last. And funding request. Sorry to keep y'all waiting. Who's up first? Danielle?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Lloyd Libby. I'm chairman of the Eureka Springs Plein Air Festival this year. Over the last 6 years, it's changed hands a couple of times. The name has changed. The incorporation at the Arkansas State Secretary's office. We have started out all new. We're starting out with a new focus this year from previous two owners of this festival, where they wanted to put the focus on professional artists. This year it's going to be students and amateurs. I noticed that you had the list of cities where your website is hitting well from, and I too have spoken to many students and amateurs from those areas who have come into my little shop here in town, and they are all very excited about attending this festival that's coming up. We are starting out brand new. We have one little $500 donation, private donation from the Kansas City area, and we need money to get started advertising for this. We have a budget of approximately $7,500 for awards. This is going to be a 6-day festival between Sunday and Friday, June 2nd to the 7th. And we're going to have 13 events over those 6 days, with 15 awards totaling $7,500 approximately. We're looking at about a $5,000 budget for advertising, both local and over, beyond a 2-hour driving area. So
I don't know if I'm the only one at the table, but I'm ignorant here. I don't even know what a plein air is.
So, plein air painting in the good old days was painting outdoors, and it was brush and paint on canvas. That has evolved over the centuries, basically, to all sorts of mediums of artwork, but plein air in its essence is painting outside.
I totally thought it was like wooden airplanes.
I do.
I did. I really
it was
did.
like air quality. I didn't know. I'm with you.
We got a great art city here. What I'm proposing is bringing in a whole new crowd of participants than have been seen here previously. Truth is, I've looked for similar events like this around the country, and I have found 0 similar events. The closest one that I found was in St. Joseph, Missouri, between 4 high schools. What I'm proposing is bringing students and amateurs in from that whole region that you showed us earlier. The potential for growth is, we're starting out with 0 here. It's just going to grow over the years.
And what were the dates again?
June 2nd to the 7th, specifically.
Okay.
First week of June.
And because these 13 events are going to be held daily, then it's going to give students and their families a chance to come and spend 1 or 2 nights and participate in several events and then move on. There's going to be lots of people wanting to spend the night and eat in the restaurants, obviously, but wanting to return next year and do this again. We have a phenomenon that you may not be aware of. We had COVID, and we had a lot of kids who stayed indoors during that time and worked on art projects. And seriously, we have a lot of raw talent out there, young raw talent that is looking for a place to bust out, to be seen and recognized and show what they can do. What we really have is a resurgence of the art movement like we experienced here in mid-century 1900s and the 1990s. It's going to happen again. This is the beginning of it.
And where is the event going to be held? I mean, I know they'll be everywhere, but is there a certain,
Eureka Springs, this is a nonprofit. We have a board of 9 people. It's unrelated people. It's a public nonprofit. We're not going to be specifically anywhere in town. We're going to be all over participating. Bruce is going to be hanging pictures for us, selling or paintings, hosting the nightly events for sales, free of charge. I mean, this is going to be hopefully a big community involvement, especially with all of the artists, that we already have in town.
it sounds if you have this many people coming in, I know there are several of us at the table that would be more than welcome to put those things up for sale as well, myself included.
Well, we're not competing with any other events.
Yeah.
Basically, it's going to fall during a week right between 2 events.
And I'm glad you're going to sell them so that you could.
There's nothing going on that week?
That's the Broad Week.
It's between
Isn't that the Broad Week?
It's between 2 weekend events.
It's right after Memorial Weekend.
And the Blues Festival.
When's the parade?
Blues Fest is the weekend before, and then Pride is the weekend after.
Okay.
And it's a great transition from May Festival of the Arts into
Yeah.
June.
This is one of those events where you see people literally in front of some of the historic homes in Eureka Springs. I've seen people paint pictures of the Rosalie many times, and that's when they're out there with their easels and their palettes, and they're painting away either watercolor, acrylic, oil, whatever. And it's fascinating to watch. And one of those events, I believe, if I'm correct, is you have an hour. Maybe
So we have
like a speed event.
There's going to be 6 quick draw events,
draws,
and
yeah.
each one of those is 2 hours. And one is going to be specifically designed for kids 17 and younger, and the other is going to be for students and amateurs 18 and older. And then we have the paint out events, and these are going to be localized. The quick draws are going to be on location specific, like the pocket parks or the Crescent, different places like that. The paint outs are going to be in locations like Main Street between the bridge and the Historical Museum, like Upper Spring Street from the Palace out to the Point. Things of that nature around the Crescent.
So are they doing something similar in the May part?
They have a couple of weekends where they do that as just a.
Microphone, Danielle.
And then they get.
But it's not as robust, not as much,
No,
yeah. So this would be a
not
lot.
like
Yeah, it's similar to what Sandy has, but it's not, it's usually local artists, and they
Okay.
come in and out.
Sandy is putting up a small competition for kids from the high school, and that's about what that amounts to.
And I see that you're asking for 6. Our limit is 5.
Right.
So
I would caution everyone to make sure if we do this that no portraits of Mike are allowed.
Or Danielle on the roof of the auditorium.
Sorry about that, dude.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Eureka Springs Plain Air Festival in the amount of $5,000.
Second.
Got a motion by David Avanzino to approve Plein Air Festival for $5,000, seconded by Steve Holyfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
So moved.
Appreciate it.
Springtime in the Ozarks.
Hello, everybody. My name is Willie Daniels, and I'm the registrar for Springtime in the Ozarks this year. I'm just going to give you kind of a brief history of Springtime. In 1975, it was thought to have an event where AA members and their families could gather together for a weekend of fellowship, speakers, food, games, and step away from pressures of everyday life. The phrase they used was recharge your batteries. At that time, the Inn of the Ozarks was approached about using their convention center, which was nearing completion. They decided that they would do that there, and we had a flyer made with some dogwoods. It was all hand-drawn, so nothing back in those days computerized. So in 1977, Springtime in the Ozarks was born. And word had gotten out in Eureka Springs that a bunch of drunks were coming to Eureka Springs. So the sheriff's department had every available officer set up roadblocks and were prepared as possible for this onslaught. No one informed them that it was a bunch of recovering drunks. Not one disorderly event happened there. So it was kind of a non-event for them. The event has grown from 6 speakers to 10 plus speakers. Special workshops that required us to expand utilizing the city auditorium on Fridays and Saturdays. Our 10 speakers are coming from all over the United States, Canada, so it's a pretty good-sized event there. And we have special workshops. The largest Springtime in the Ozarks was in 2013 with 2,325 registered attendees. Last year, kind of coming back out of COVID and all that kind of stuff, because we had kind of suspended during that time. So we had 1,551 registrants at that time. So we also have ice cream socials, bingo, dances, and other activities that the folks can get involved in. And plus they go to different events that are around Eureka Springs, poker runs and that sort of thing. We have requested $3,000 to support our only means of advertising, which is through flyers mailed to past attendees and directing AA members and groups across Arkansas and many other states, as well as publications that come out quarterly to go to our website, springtimeintheozarks.com, where we have links to Eureka Springs Chamber of Commerce, chambercommerce.com, eurekasprings.org, eurekatrolley.org, Eureka Springs Parks and Trails, and the parking map of Eureka Springs. So we are requesting $3,000 to help with that, our website. And that's, like I said, that's our only means of advertisement.
And you guys have it, AA is a nonprofit, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
And it says that any monies that you raise from this goes to the district. What is considered the district?
It's structured to where district is Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, okay.
So it would go to that part.
Okay.
And that just continues to support AA in that area, this area.
Okay. I make a motion to.
Any other questions?
Sorry.
Make the motion.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the $3,000 funding request for Springtime in the Ozarks.
Second.
I have a motion by David Avanzino to approve Springtime in the Ozarks funding request of $3,000, seconded by Steve Holyfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up.
Next up is the Eureka Soapbox Derby.
I don't think they're here.
I don't know.
She was here,
Oh,
Where
maybe
did-
she went to the bathroom? Did you have another one?
maybe. Yeah, I thought that was her. Yeah. And then Blues Weekend?
No one's here for that.
Oh, he sent something via email saying that he was not going to be able to be here.
Who?
Jack.
Jack.
Oh, I didn't see it.
He was flying into XNA and was trying to get here this evening to do the presentation, and he actually contacted me earlier this week, said he might be here, he might not. He may bolt in, I don't know, but I had not heard from him via email or from phone, so I do
hadn't
not
heard.
know where Jack is on this one.
This is something we supported last year.
Yeah.
So this would be year 2.
Yeah. There is a bit of immediate necessity for this because they've got to go ahead and start the publication and advertising for the Blues Weekend. And of course, CAPC is being kind of a part of that with Blues in the Park. And we do have 2 events that are going on Thursday night with the Madden the Brothers Moore, and then the night after that, Sonny Landreth and Seth Lee Jones, which are blues acts that we are putting into the auditorium via Larry Schaefer. So they've got a pretty broad program lined out so far. I know they're still trying to plug in some of the artists and so forth and some slots they're going to have, but I think in the same token, they are taking ownership of a festival that kind of lost traction a while ago and is coming back, I think, probably in a very good way.
And it's a much-needed time period because, I'm freezing too.
Are you cold? You cold, David?
I'd like to make a funding
yes.
request for space heaters or a blanket or something.
I think it's on the agenda. Requested for $7,500, again, over,
Over the limit, yeah, the limit's
Yeah.
5.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they know that.
Maybe we should put that on the form. It's like-
I know.
It is
It
on the
is.
new form, as a matter of
It-
fact. But they got an old form, and they, of course,
Adapted it.
you can always ask. That's all you can do.
I move that we approve the funding support request from the Eureka Springs Blues Party for $5,000.
Second?
I have a motion by Steve Holyfield to approve Eureka Springs Blues
Party.
Festival.
weekend
Weekend.
request for $5,000, seconded by David Avancino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Did she come back? No?
Okay, so here is what I do know about the soapbox derby, and it's not a lot, but the guy has come in twice, and we had to move the meeting, and he was not able to be here. But he came in Monday of this week, perhaps, maybe it was Friday. And he was willing to go to y'all that had questions and answer any questions that he had about it. At this point, he's not shooting. He had originally thought that he would shoot for the April 14th or the 21st weekend, but he was looking at our calendar when he came in, and he noticed how July was kind of barren for activities. And to do something on a Saturday morning when the heat's not quite on, and just have a fun Saturday morning soap derby contest. And he's got a vision to pull in different teams of different businesses and entities to compete, and it's just something that is family friendly and fun.
What?
I think you should do it.
Yeah, right.
That's his vision. So
He actually came by my restaurant on the way out of town and
Good.
shared with me a success with his mother that ran one with Red Bull, and it was fantastic.
Oh, that was her? That's her?
It was fantastic. I don't know if that was his mom,
Okay.
but
that's who was supposed to be here, yeah.
the news that he shared with me, I was like, this is something that we could talk about.
It's a solid vision, and he seems to have a pretty structured approach to organizing it. Go ahead.
I'm here for it, I'll tell you that. I competed in one a couple years ago that was at Chelsea's, and this says 116 people, there was at least 75 there. Even though there was only 5 entrants, everybody was there to watch and have a good
Yes.
time, and they were there all day. So I know we have a precedent that we don't normally hear stuff whenever people aren't here, but I believe we did just approve something 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, we did.
Just something we had already done. I would just, add that caveat.
Yeah.
And a lot of pressure on.
How much is he asking for, Colin?
5,000.
5?
I really think they should be here if we have more questions, but if we don't have any more questions, I think we can vote on it.
So they were going to do it in April. Now okay, so
Because they
Time.
weren't able, time. It fell on the holiday, and he wasn't able to be here
the
then.
problem is
and-
July is like, we're sold out anyway. You know what I mean? That's
He is willing
not that
to,
I'm anti-soapbox.
he's willing to shift the date,
Or what?
is what I'm saying, because he had originally
I mean-
said April 14th, 21st, and he saw how full April is already.
July and October, are peak months that if he's willing to do that, I would suggest like maybe August or September, if that helps draw people. This is my 2 cents.
If we could just, you're right, Chris, and Steve, we like to ask questions of them. And, yes, the Blues weekend is something we've done before. We've asked all the questions, all that kind of stuff. We haven't been able to ask these questions from Dylan. So I think he does need to be here to answer questions.
It might help guide him to do it.
Yeah.
What if we
What works
approve
best?
1,500 on the condition that we'll give potentially more if they show up and answer more questions?
I mean, I don't.
It'll help
think
get him
anyone's
started.
Against it. I just.
Well,
It might help
more
get him
the
started.
Timing.
Light a fire under his butt to show up and answer questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's certainly motivation, for sure. I think it's one of those events that probably is a little bit of a viral sensation to it that could be very good. But I agree, I think you've got another month in there. He seems very flexible.
Yeah.
So August
He
would be
is.
really kind of not a cool time, but maybe a good time to do it.
Yeah.
So I think there's some flexibility and some bend here that we can look at.
I mean, and he does quality work. I don't know if you guys were aware, but he did the mermaid shoot out at the Wanderoo pool,
Oh,
which was phenomenal. I don't know if you've seen those pictures, but people came dressed as mermaids and swam in the pool, and he did these underwater photographs, and it was amazing. So he does good stuff.
all right, so we should pull him back in other words.
I would think we just table this and ask him to come back so we can ask him questions.
Let's put him on the docket for next month
Yeah.
then.
Okay.
Okay, March.
It's not urgent, so.
Yeah, good.
What else?
Okay, that's all the funding requests. Bylaws, they've been vetted.
We had, I just pulled up the email from Watkins Law Office, and the final email was, the bylaws you sent me dated July 2021 seem to still be working. There isn't anything that must be changed.
Okay, so let's sign the damn documents and get them in the book.
The official. Okay, need a motion?
I move that we accept the bylaws as approved by the attorney.
Second.
Got a motion by Colin Polk to accept the bylaws from 2021,
Yeah.
seconded by David Avanzino. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And we need to get some signatures on those,
Okay.
and then we should post them on the website. HVAC system, it's definitely working.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and be brief about this because number one, I see David over there, he's starting to drop icicles. We got our electric bill the other day while I was sitting at department head. I opened the bill from SWEPCO, $4,500 for the month of January. The biggest electric bill we've ever had. Goes back to basically say the HVAC system that we have right now are failing, have been failing. We've been spending a lot of money on trying to go ahead and keep them working, and they are just not doing the job. They were put in 2011. Heat pumps have a lifespan of about 10 years. These are commercial heat pumps, and they have basically lived their life. So the situation that we have right now is that MCC, Multicraft Contractors, has been the company that's been working on these systems for us. They've done about everything they can do to try to keep them going. So at the end of the day, we said, okay, what is it going to cost to put a new system in? And we visited with their chief estimator at MCC, and he said, okay, this is the turnkey system of $420,000. Now, here's the thing. This is a company that basically is selling a system. We obviously are in that situation where who owns the building? We are the tenants of this building, not the owners of the building. On the same token, because we have discussed this in the past, creating another document, which is an auditorium and city agreement as to who does what as lease and leaseor, we're going to have to go ahead and retool that particular document.
Is this a numerical error?
No, this is not a numerical error. This is the real deal. Wish it was.
Someone put fentanyl in my drink or something?
Well, here's the thing. I think that wisdom suggests that we know that these systems are bad. We know they're defective. I think the best alternative, and Ron and I have discussed it at great length, to bring in a consultant, an outside consultant, contractor that knows these systems, take a look at what we need and what would be the best alternative for whatever it is, whether it goes back to electric or gas. We have gas out here. We can put forced air gas in here. We've had it before. We've had a boiler in here before that lasted a long time. And I think what we really need is, this is a consult more than anything else right now. We can shop all day and never really come up with a good number, especially that number. We need an expert to come in and say, this is what you need to do. So with your all's permission, we're going to try to have a meeting tentatively next Thursday after we come back from GovCon and talk at least first opportunity with a person that maybe could tell us what we need to be doing. And then we'll find out what that consultant would cost. But it would be obviously a fraction of whatever a system's going to cost. But then more importantly, our arrangement with you, Steve, and with you, David, as representatives of the city council, need to basically help shore up this situation that we have with the auditorium and the city as to who is responsible for what. And the city put those systems in 2011. CAPC didn't have the money to do it at all. We did not have money to do those things.
What did they cost in 2011?
100 grand? 77, okay.
That's a big
Yeah,
difference.
that's a
Inflation
big
hasn't gone up that much.
But, I think what happened was great example of going low bid on whatever it was. So,
Well,
there
it's
was
13 years old.
Yeah, and I'm certain they took the low bid at that time, and that's what we ended up with. So we have 3 systems. They are failing. If you ever drive by the alley at some point and see ice caked all over all of them, you'll know the problem we have with.
So the consultant you're going to get will be a neutral party that doesn't sell equipment, right?
Great idea.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, is that the only vendor or person that's given a quote?
No,
No.
all we did was with MCC just came in when they said, tell us what it might cost. Well, they did, but we didn't go out and shop.
And we replaced the compressor on one for 10,000, right?
I don't know what the figure was, but
No, with Scott.
I'm not sure what the cost
I'm
was.
fairly certain.
But we're pumping
Last
thousands
year.
of dollars in.
Yeah, like 1 and 2 or something like that.
And then when we're
It's fun,
pumping
right?
$4,500 into an electric bill because of heat strips, then obviously we've got a situation. Now we're freezing, as you can see. So by God, that
Fuel.
works. The problem is that we don't have the assurance that as we go into the season, when we need it to work effectively, what's going to happen with it. So I've got a code
doesn't-
upstairs for you,
yeah.
so.
Do,
The current systems, we asked MCC because it felt like we were meeting literally every tech that they had because they were here weekly from December through January. And in order to get through our last concert, the poor guys were in zero temperature with wind chill factor below zero out there with a bullet defroster trying to get the ice off the inside the unit and his welding torch, and was welding two separate areas. And
But you paid him, right?
and yes, we did. God bless him. And he was out there from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
to get it going. But then we had to have a tech back out here on Monday to fix the other one that went down, because these units don't function in 20-degree and below weather, or 90-degree with 70% humidity.
have you reached out or spoken to some of our local contractors?
No.
I'm trying to think of off the top of my head. Island Airco does a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's
Maybe
another one in
Hayes
Holiday.
Electric.
Adkins,
Yeah. Maybe
right.
they
Well,
would be able.
I think
We gotta-
the scope of this project is huge.
It's
Yeah.
We're talking, this is giant commercial. And I think what we're going to probably need to do, again, is go to the consultant and say, look, can you tell us what we really do need to do? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of options there. But obviously, when we're looking at something as expensive as a Mitsubishi $420,000 unit system, which basically entails all new ductwork, all new electrical components, basically to bring them up to code and all the standards that we have to have, including the adaptation of gas on a system that's on the other side of the women's bathroom. We've got a lot of work, and it's going to be a pricey project regardless of what we do. But at least I totally agree. We'll talk to all we can, but I think the consultant may be the first line of defense for us right now. And we can do that next week.
More information.
And we can certainly, Steve and I can certainly bring it up to the council. However, keep in mind, we just approved a $6 million
I know.
new sewage treatment plant, so. So we'll try, but
Okay.
can't make any promises.
Hopefully you'll have some wonderful information in March.
Is this something we should have a workshop on, as far as our relationship with the city and what we'd like to get out of it and what we think we should be in the bill for?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, Colin.
So
It's kind of a give and take right now, it seems like. And, we had a relationship in 2017 and 18, which was a contractual arrangement, where we paid the city in 2017 rent, basically. And then in 2018, we didn't pay rent, but we paid utilities. And then, frankly, after I left, nothing happened. So I can't really speak to where we should go, but I think it's a question and a discussion that should be had.
I brought it up at the
It's-
council meeting a couple meetings ago. and
Yeah,
The mayor is like, what are you talking about? It's really clear.
yeah.
But it wouldn't be really specific
That's
about
not-
what that was.
No.
So
We've talked
I
about
don't
it.
understand it. So-
We need something on paper. We need a
Yes.
starting point, to
Yep.
your point, to workshop on, where we can all go, okay, yeah, and
Right.
send it back.
And any previous documents that have been signed by the mayor or city council or whatever.
Yeah. There's
So
supposed to be
that,
some kind of contract.
We have to have
agreement
something-
or something.
like, here it is, this is what we've been doing. You can't back out now.
Well, the only thing you showed me was the old one where we paid rent, the 30.
No, there's two. There's one,
Oh.
in 2017, we paid rent of $33 a month. And in 2018, the rent went away, but we just picked up the cost,
But it was
basically.
vague.
Yeah.
It said
it was.
general maintenance,
Yeah.
but the city was responsible
keep in mind, in 2018, we weren't doing as much as we are doing now. We were not having city
Right.
meetings in here, and we were not doing a robust schedule of concerts and events upstairs. And the other part of it was the CAPC was not in this building. We were up on the highway, and it wasn't out of sight, out of mind, don't get me wrong. But on the same token, we didn't have the same relationship that we have with this building right now. And it's changed. And I think that's the difference. And the big thing is really, everybody wants to take advantage of the building and utilize the building. It's just sort of an understanding, again, of this is the way I look at it. When the electric bill's $4,500 and the cost for the project is $420,000, who owns the building? CAPC. Now, is that right? No, this is because we have the money in the bank. That's the reason why. So, and I don't say that to be indifferent to the city, but
So you had the most extreme month where it was 4,500, and so then, what's the savings? What's the difference? So, what's the average? That's info we need. What's the average bill? And so, if limping along only costs us an extra $10,000 a year for the next 10 years, that's $100,000 versus 300 plus thousand to upgrade to a new system. Maybe we limp along. I don't know what the answer is, but we need more information.
Yep, absolutely.
Maybe we decide as a commission what the agreement should be, and we present it to the city.
Yeah.
And then we move out.
Maybe have the attorney draw something up and,
Whatever we do, it needs to be vetted.
Yeah.
As a legal document,
So-
for sure. And
We'll do a workshop in March. We'll
Yeah.
add that into the,
That's a
before
great
the
idea.
I
meeting.
think we need some information before
yeah.
that.
Yeah, but we need the consultant to give us information, then we need those past bills to look at what that is,
Yeah.
what the repair and patch, what the options are.
Yeah, the last bill that we had that was high was in February last year, which was $3,500. But was 35. And, but again, the extreme temperatures played a big factor in that. The heat strips ran and they,
This big a
We also have more
facility,
stuff going on this year than we did last year. So the lights were on.
Yeah.
I mean,
then the AC and everything.
So is that the reason the lights were turned off in the auditorium last night? Because of the electric bill?
Yes.
I was disappointed when I drove by.
This is a big place. It doesn't sound completely crazy to me, the amounts. But
Not considering how expensive electricity's become. It's crazy. I would like to see more, some kind of agreement in black and white between
Yeah.
us and the city
Yep.
of what we're responsible for and what they're responsible for. And it should be negotiated in some way.
Because the agenda for Monday is already final, right? For the next meeting?
It's final.
Yeah.
But I'm not, David, I'm not going to be there. So
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I'm not going to Zoom in either because there's a
Yeah.
Madden dinner thing. Monday night.
Actually, I'd rather you be there so that we can tag team.
Huh? What?
I'd rather you be there so that we can tag team the rest of the council and the mayor.
That's fine. I
Are
thought
they
you said
vicious over there?
I thought you said attack me. It's like,
Okay, so we don't have anything on that for now. White commercial is our last agenda item. White Phoenix,
Phoenix
Films.
Films. White
Right.
Phoenix Films.
White Phoenix
need a
Films.
motion to approve it? I move we approve the $14,000 request from White Phoenix Films for a commercial on food.
Second?
Got a motion by Steve Holyfield to approve.
can I ask a question? Does this include the rewrites to all the previous films for another 4 years? No. So we'll have to purchase those separately?
Right, yeah,
Okay, so this is, just to be clear, this is just the one?
yes.
Okay.
The new one.
I have a motion by Steve Holyfield to approve White Phoenix Films commercial in the amount of, for food, in the amount of $14,000, seconded by David Avanzino. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay, that's it. Commissioner comments? Bradley.
Just appreciate everybody and your hard work. I do wish that this weather would figure out what it's doing, because I have had a cold for the last 2 days. But I appreciate all of you and your hard work and diligence and, you know, what we're doing for the community. I think this is going to be an amazing year, and I'm really excited about it.
Steve?
Looking forward to the new year, and looking forward to the governor's conference next week. Hope to learn a lot.
Chris?
I just walked through town and saw the Basin Park. It's looking really good. They've done a lot
Oh,
of good work up
really?
there.
Haven't
It looks
seen it yet. Good.
great. Yeah, I have to drive that way. So
Cool.
I'm excited for this year too. And the governor's conference.
Colin?
So I tasked the CAPC staff with creating a monthly newsletter for all the business owners who invest in the CAPC. And I just want to say that I'm very happy they're moving right along, which is not an easy task considering that we don't have everybody's email addresses. So Danielle and Caitlin have been working really hard about getting a list so that we can let everyone know what's going on.
Awesome.
Sounds great. Don't we ask for email addresses on the, when they were?
Stakeholder tax form?
Yeah.
So they don't have to update once you have your CAPC tax form. There's not an annual
Well, your
renewal,
monthly.
so
Your monthly form has it.
they just put in just
Yeah, like
barely,
Mine would be from my accountant, I believe.
yeah, no, it's not always. And then, yes, it's a wide variety of options. So, yeah, it
It's
just
not an easy
varies.
task, but so just want to say thanks.
Yeah.
David?
Yes, so I'm going to kind of echo off of what Bradley was talking about. I think the staff has done a phenomenal job. This place has turned around 100% in just a year, in my opinion. And all of you, all of us for volunteering. It takes a lot of time. I do want to comment, and anybody correct me if I'm wrong here, though. Arkansas state law allows this commission to fund, of course, advertising and promotion, arts, and parks, correct? Okay. So I've been noticing a whole lot of chatter on Facebook about why aren't we spending money for infrastructure? And I want people to know because it's illegal. We cannot do it.
Unless it's tourism related.
It's a very,
Well, I mean, people are talking about using our money for sidewalks,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
our money for parking.
Yeah.
So
Well, parking garage would be a different story.
Right.
where are you going to put it?
I'm not, I'm just saying.
Talk to Randy Wolfenberger over on 62. Maybe he'll sell you his land.
I think,
But yeah, I just want people to know those are things we cannot do. They're illegal, and we individually and collectively would be held accountable if we did it. And then my last thing, and I'm going to keep bringing this up. Sorry, Mike. Sorry, Danielle. Is that I do love the way that the Odd is bringing acts into town. But I just ask for some leniency for those businesses in town that you're competing against with music. Because we have, like events y'all have, my place, it's a drastic drop in attendance. So I applaud what you're doing, but then again, just please keep in mind that especially during the summer and the fall, when we make most of our money so that we can survive in the winter, just to keep that in mind. Not a dig, not anything like that, just keep it in mind.
Noted.
looking forward to Governor's Conference. Wish everyone was going, but.
I can't, I'm sorry.
So, all right, let's,
I move we adjourn.
Second.
got a motion by Steve Holyfield to adjourn, seconded by Colin Polk. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.